to the limited iRacing series. Tonight is the super late models. They're going to be running around Myrtle Beach for 125 laps. Should take about an hour once the race starts. I think we got about 9 guys in the race tonight, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to grab a couple guys and do a couple little quick interviews to see how everybody's feeling about the track tonight and see what kind of information we can get from them. Brad, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, Brad, just trying to check in to see how everybody's feeling about tonight's race at Myrtle Beach. Last week you were pretty dominant, leading about half to 3/4 of the race. How are you feeling about tonight's race?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just a little bit off the best time in practice and feel like I'll have the most consistent car. So it's all about just putting it on the pole for qualifying and keeping it up front and not in the mayhem.
Well, you and the 71 did have a couple run-ins last weekend, more from his side. Any feelings coming over for this race, or are you just going to try to stay clear of each other, or did you talk to him at all, anything like that?
Not really. I just hope we have some clean hard racing. I hate racing like that, so hopefully we can just battle it out like gentlemen.
That's a good diplomatic answer. I was looking for the answer of if he comes near me, I'm going to put him in the wall. But we'll see how it turns out on track. Good luck, buddy,
Yep.
and we'll hopefully see you in the booth after the race.
All right. Thanks, man.
Tyler, you got a copy? Tristan, it's Swats in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Tristan, just trying to check in to see how everybody's doing tonight at Myrtle Beach. What kind of expectations do you have, and are you liking this track at all, or what are you feeling like?
Um, we've done a lot of testing this week and noticed that it's gotten really tight over the long run, but it gets so tight that it gets loose. So I'm just gonna try to be careful, keep the nose clean, um, and just run the laps here. We'll see how it works out.
All right. Well, last week you did have a couple little driver errors that you talked about after the race, where you just got loose and tried to correct it, but weren't able to hold on to it. You open just to lay back tonight and just try to stay out of trouble, or are you thinking about trying to run up front, which gives you a little bit more drive into the corners and stuff, which can cause those little mistakes?
Um, to be honest, I'm just gonna see how it plays out. If I qualify pole, I'm gonna try to stay out there while still uh keeping the car clean and conserving. But if I qualify mid pack, I'll probably just kind of lay back and chill for a little while. Long race here, 125 laps. We'll see what we can get done.
Gotcha. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing you maybe in the booth at the end of the race, and good luck, and try to stay clean out there and keep the nose clean and bring home a untouched car.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Good luck. Braden, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Braden, it's Swats up in the booth. Just trying to see and feel how everybody's feeling about Myrtle Beach. See if you have any expectations for tonight, if you're going to lay back, if you're going to be aggressive, or how the track's feeling. That kind of information. If you can give everybody out there just a little perspective.
I'm just gonna lay back. I'm not a fan of this track. It's with all the crap all over the track, like sand and all that. It's just loose as can be. No matter what you do, it's just gonna be loose. I feel like I just need to watch the front because they're gonna be pushing the car a lot, and when you push the car a lot here, it tends to get really loose in the corners. So maybe they might spin up there in the front and give me my shot to go through. But my plan is just to stick back.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we see you at the end of the night here, maybe in the booth. Hopefully you can stay clean and bring home a untouched car. And if you can remind everybody out there in the or in the Discord to stay on after the race if they are a podium driver, that way I can get the full podium interviewed this week.
Alrighty, we'll do.
All right. Good luck. All right, so that's a few different drivers' perspectives. We're going to be seeing what it's going to be like there tonight. Right now, they are looking at. My track temp's not coming up for Myrtle Beach. So, but they got a 2-mile-an-hour wind out of the north. Um, Sand is a factor being at the Myrtle Beach track. Sand does blow in on the track, comes through the pavement, and everything lays on it. Makes it a little slick out there, so that's what Braden was talking about. Hopefully these guys can get that under control and figure out exactly how to get around this track without having those mistakes. But we'll see how they do and what all happens here. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we're going to jump into the anthem real quick, get that done, and then we'll be back. All right, everybody, we are live on track. This is the Super Late Models at Myrtle Beach. We're going to get situated here. It looks like a couple little things moved around on my computer, so let me get those moved around to where they look a little better, and then we'll go into what it's looking like for practice. Currently out on track, we got 8 cars for the Super Late Models tonight at Myrtle Beach, and we have Kaiser out front in the 71, Brad Herman in the 85 in second, Newman in third. Kaiser and Herman are both running almost identical times, so those two should be the fastest. They were about the same 2 fastest last week, but we'll see who turns out to be the fastest this week and if they will be clean trying to get around each other this week. So qualifying is about to start in about 45 seconds. Like I said, Kaiser's out front, Herman second, Newman third, Harrison fourth. All 4 really fast. They're only separated by about 5/100ths. Actually, the top 3 are separated by 4/100ths. Herman and Kaiser are only separated by, looks like up to 1,000ths. Harrison's about 1/10 behind, so he's a little bit off the pace, but Newman, Herman, and Kaiser are definitely flying around this track. We'll see who can put down the hot lap for qualifying. That'll be starting anytime here in about 20 seconds. And then we'll see what the gridding looks like, who got the top spot, and then we'll go racing. 125 laps at Myrtle Beach. Will be a little sandy out there with the sand blowing in on track. It will be loose. These guys will be trying to ride that bottom line. Majority of the time, they might slide up about a half car just to carry a little bit more momentum through the corner rather than slowing down so much. But we'll see who tries to stick their nose in if they do move up that half track. And don't forget, just after this broadcast tonight, the Turn Down for What Truck Series will be going live. That broadcast should be started around 9:10. As soon as this one ends and I get through the post-race with the 3 podium drivers, as long as they stick around for their interviews. And then we'll go right into Daytona for Turn Down for What Trucks. It is the opening season for trucks, and there's going to be some definitely big racing going on. I think we got 25 in that field. 25 or 26. One of the big drivers out there tonight that's throwing it out for Breast Cancer Awareness Month is Mike Allen. He's throwing a big shout to Christine's Warriors, which I see Miss Vicky is out there in chat saying go Christine Warriors. That show, like I said, will be in about an hour and 10 minutes whenever that one starts up, and I'll be able to go into a little bit more information. And I got a link for going out there and donating for Christine's Warriors and going out there and helping with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I will get into that, like I said, a little bit further in the stream, but currently we are streaming the limited iRacing series for the super late models. They will be running Myrtle Beach, and then next week I believe they're going to, it's either Wilkesboro or it's not Bristol. It might be Bristol. I'll have to check the schedule on that one. But Turn Down for What will be starting up Sunday nights, 9:30, 9:10 for stream. They'll be following this series here for super late models. And it's going to be an interesting season, first season for trucks out there. But this season here for late models, these guys are really fast. Few of these guys are actual real drivers in late models. Somebody's actually a spotter for somebody in the late models. I don't know who it is. I think it might be Tyler. But I know is it Goddard and a couple others are actual real drivers. So kind of interesting to see real drivers try to jump on iRacing and see how they can handle it. Some guys, some of the professionals say that iRacing does feel exactly like it does in a car, other than you're not being hit in real life. But other drivers say it's not the same. It doesn't give you the same feeling. So it's kind of a back and forth there. But NASCAR has teamed up with iRacing and is now fully on board. So that's why they're doing the, I believe it's 100,000 or 150,000 to the Coca-Cola Series iRacing champion that goes on. I believe that's Tuesday nights that they go live for that event on iRacing. And like I said, that one is for, I believe it's 100 or 150,000 to the winner of that series. That's how popular iRacing has gotten. That's how popular all the drivers out here really try to get into iRacing. A lot of professionals, like I said, they use this consistently every week. You consistently see Dale Earnhardt Jr., you see Ty Gibbs, you see the Herman brothers, you see Sadler, people out here, you see drivers from late models to modifieds to truck series, Xfinity, Cup. I mean, you see everybody and anybody who's in racing pretty much on iRacing nowadays competing. So I do see, looks like my brother SS Motorsports is out there. I know what he's talking about. He said we are. We just went to a Penn State game on Saturday. So looks like I've turned him into a Penn State fan, especially after his Notre Dame team lost. So maybe he'll be a Penn State fan from now on. 300,000 to the winner is what he said. So okay, so I thought it was 100 or 150,000 to the Coca-Cola winner. Looks like NASCAR jumping in, jumped it up to 300,000. I see Expert out there. He does have his own channel, Expert Network. I believe he does Mondays and a couple other different series. Mondays, I believe, is N&R for trucks. He's out there saying super lates. He loves them. Can't wait for the turn down for race tonight. He'll be in that one. Qualifying has started. 45 seconds left in this qualifying session. Looks like majority of the people have qualified. Herman is your top pole sitter as of right now. He will be racing later tonight in the Turn Down for What Truck Series as well. And I do believe he's racing on Tuesdays for Turn Down for What as in the Xfinity cars. So he's running a lot of different races, a lot of different series, a lot of different types of cars. But pretty much any car I've seen Herman jump into, he could pretty much take to the front. I don't know if he's ever gotten into go-karts or even Flintstone cars. I'm sure he could probably take it to the front as good as he is at being a wheelman. So we'll see what happens tonight. Seeing 5 seconds left in qualifying. Looks like Brad Herman is going to be your pole sitter, and qualifying's over. So Brad Herman will be your pole sitter. That will be the gridding. So going through the rest of the grid, we only have 8 cars in the field tonight, as a bunch of guys have set out for the Turn Down for What race that starts after this one. And then a few other guys couldn't make it due to work getting out right before the Turn Down for What race, so they were going to be missing this one. Other ones just had prior engagements. But it looks like Brad Herman is first for the pole sitting. Tristan Newman is second. Blaine Harrison is third. Aiden Kaiser is fourth. Tyler Holden is fifth. Braden Goddard is 6th, and Brendan Carroll is 7th, with Eli Lewis coming in 8th for pole. He did not qualify, so looks like Eli is going to want to start in the back and just hang out and hopefully bring it home safe. Brad is running that Reese's Pieces paints, or Reese's Peanut Butter Cup paint scheme we saw last week, leading majority of the race until 2 incidents with the 71 came about in that race and cost the race for Brad Herman, and Shad Swatsworth ended up taking the victory last week. Was up front most of that race, but with Brad being knocked out of the race twice, essentially, pretty much handed it to anybody who was up front, and Shad was able to beat out a few cars that were pretty fast up front to take that victory. So we'll see how Brad does tonight. He obviously is the fastest car in qualifying. He was tied for the fastest car in practice with Aiden, which him and Aiden have technically started some sort of rivalry, or at least from Aiden's side, as he was sort of dumped Herman twice last week. So we'll see if there's any payback, see if anything happens. I did ask Brad prior to the race if there was any kind of payback or if he was going to be looking out for that 71, anything like that. He did say that he was just going to run his race and hopefully stay clear of the 71, and hopefully it would be a clean race. We'll see. I do see the 71 is running 2 different numbers. The 71 looks like it's on the roof, and the 12 looks like it's on the door. So hopefully I can call that one out easier, but we'll see what happens here. So they are gridding up on in the pit road here. They're getting ready to come out with a pace car, as the pace car does pull out as I say that. I'm only seeing 7 though that gridded up. Doesn't look like Eli gridded, or maybe the 50 didn't. 50 is held up on pit road. They got 1 to green. They are trying to scrub those tires off, try to get a little heat into them. Looks like those 2 are going to be on the top spot here, as now a caution has been thrown. Yeah, I think the caution was thrown to help out the 50, as apparently he was having some trouble getting into the gridding, as now he's in the grid and he should be starting second, so he's going to be jumping up to that top spot in front of Kaiser. Was going to be a little interesting with Herman and Kaiser starting next to each other on the front row. See what happened when they went into turn 1, but looks like we'll be waiting for that later on in the race. So, pace car is going to be pulling off here, and they should be going green as they come around turn 3 and 4. There's the pace car already pulled off, and Herman is going to go green here out of turn 4. he gets a little late on the gas, and it looks like Newman's going to start up on the outside. He beats him to the finish line, but Newman must have tried to hold the brakes, but scraped the wall there. So Herman's going to take back over the lead. Newman's got a little damage on the right side, but he is carrying the momentum with the 7 of Harrison underneath him. Kaiser looks to be just relaxed behind these two, waiting. Maybe he learned his lesson from last week of being so aggressive, so we'll see if he takes a little bit of diving action or if he's going to be patient. It looks like Newman is being scored 1 lap down already for some reason. I don't know why. But he is running up here in second, or at least behind first place, but he's actually scored 7th. And it looks like our 8th car of Eli did not make grid either. Herman has pulled out to a 2.5 second lead 4 laps into the race. This race is set on a 1 hour time set, and actually from what I'm looking at, it's actually set at a 38-minute. So something might be wrong there. But if they are caution free, they should be done in that 38-minute time frame anyways. But Herman has pulled out. So the car running in second right now is actually a lap down, but he is closing in on Herman. So if he can get past him, get his lap back, and a caution does come out, he'll just start at the end of the field. If a caution does come out as of right now, he will get that lucky dog anyways. So he's just trying to hold his position and fight for his position, but getting that lap back will definitely benefit him. Kaiser has moved up into third, but he is battling with Holden. Holden gets by him for 4th. Herman is just really trying to hit his marks, hit those lines, stay really close to the bottom line and carry the momentum through the corner. As it looks like Holden and Kaiser are battling it out for 3rd place as of right now. Kaiser's underneath Holden right now, going into turn 1 and 2 as they go down the backstretch. Looks like Kaiser's going to get underneath him, get past him going into the corner. Holden's going to try to get down, but the 38 of Goddard gets underneath Holden. So now he's going to be trying to pick him off for a position. You can see the 38 and the 20 really battling it out. 20's really trying to hold the speed on the corners, but that inside line is definitely the way to go around. It's shorter, but that outside line carries the momentum, so you can pull back on them through the straightaways. But the inside car pulls on the outside car in the corners. So it's just kind of a bouncing back and forth of who can carry the momentum and who can't. It looks like the 20 does pull away from the 38, so he gets the position back, and he'll set his eyes on the 71 of Kaiser. Herman has continued to lead this race. He is 10 laps in. He is only a second ahead of Harrison, who is in 2nd place in the 7. But if we look up front here, he's actually not alone, because the 50, who is a lap down because I believe he missed gridding but still went to the front for some reason. His 50 gets really loose again. He did that last week. We almost clipped the inside barrier. He barely missed the tires going to that inside corner. The 7 does get on the outside of him and pulls around him. The 50 right now is really battling only himself to get back on the lead lap. As if a caution does come out, like I said, he does get that lucky dog. So really he could just be gentle here and kind of just try to run where he can run. And if a lead lap car does get really on him, he can just let him go. He just can't fall off too far and let Brad get around him and lap him a 2nd time, even though he will still get one of those laps back. But other cars will start going a lap down, and that will put him further and further behind, trying to get back on the lead lap. Jumping back up to the front, you see that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup car going around. Herman is being really steady, really just hitting those marks. Doesn't look like he's pushing it too much. As you can see, he's kind of just rolling the corners. He's not really diving it in too deep. If we go inside the car, you can kind of listen to it to where you can see he's just kind of pedaling it through the corners. He's not really stabbing it. He's not really, trying to push it too hard. He lets off early, rolls through the corner down here, barely taps the gas, gets back into it, and just kind of slowly pushes on the pedal to get it to come out of the corner to get that speed down the front stretch. So back to looking at him. If we look behind him, That 7 and 71 are trying to come as close as they can to the 85, but the 85 is laying down really solid laps. He's not really pulling away from Harrison and Kaiser, but he is not allowing them to close in either, so they're just kind of stuck in that spot. 7 did just lose a little bit of speed there, as it looks like he dove it into the corner real hard, and that caused him to push up the track. So now Herman has pushed it out to 2 seconds, and then you can see as the 7 is really diving it into the corners, they make up to about a second. And then as they come out of the corner, because they're pushing it so hard into the corners, it goes back up to 3 seconds. So as you can see, they must have gained some time there because that only went up to 1.6. But 71 is battling the 7 now. That could cause them to fall off a little bit more as you get side by side and you start battling each other. It allows that single car to stretch further out there. 19 laps into the race. Herman has led every lap so far. He did this last week, though, and the 71 and a couple other drivers did get in his way. This week, though, that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup car definitely looks better and cleaner than it did last week. From the start of the race, almost, he had hood damage and front bumper damage. And he was able to lead 3/4 of the race. So this week, he has no damage. He's been clean from the start of the race and has led every lap. So we're going to go to... let's see. Looks like Mama Vol's out there. Thanks for joining. We are watching the limited iRacing series super late model group going around Myrtle Beach right now. My temperature gauge has come up for the track map, and it is 80 degrees for track temp, 77 for air temp, so not that bad of a night. 2-mile-an-hour wind only. And they've had one caution so far, which was actually, from what it looked like, a manual caution at the beginning of the race. I think that was Newman trying to get his lap back, so that I guess he was having issues gridding. But it didn't work because he is still lap down. But we had 8 on the grid, only 7 gridded up. Looks like Eli was not able to make the grid and has retired from the race. 25 laps into this one. They have 100 laps to go, and Herman has led all 25. We'll see if he can lead the rest of the 100. Kaiser has moved into second. Harrison has moved back to third and fallen off about a second and a half from Kaiser. Kaiser has fallen off to about 2 to 4 seconds, depending on how he's going through the corners. He's really trying to catch this 85. We'll see if we have a repeat of last week between these two, or if it'll be a clean race between them. So going to Kaiser's view, it looks like he's trying to dive it in just a little bit deeper than Herman is. Remember, as you heard Herman go through, he let off early, rolled through the corner, barely tapped the gas, and then started pushing on it just to ease it out of the corner. And you can hear Kaiser, he's more, so he lets off, he's a little later than Herman, but he's getting into the gas a little harder than Herman is, and I think that's causing him to slide up the track a little bit, which is causing him to lose a little bit of time. He's making up time as he's diving into the corner, but he's losing time as he's coming out of the corner. And then Herman's the opposite, where he's gaining time coming out of the corner, but he's losing a little bit of time going into the corner because he's letting off earlier than Kaiser is. So as we roll around here, we have 30 laps completed as Brad's going to come across the finish line for that one. So far, it's been Brad from the get-go. Qualified in the pole position, has led all 30 laps so far. Kaiser and Harrison have been battling out for second and third. Holt and Goddard were battling it out for fourth and fifth. Newman is just waiting for a caution to come out at some point here to help him out. He's crossing his fingers on that one because he missed grid, which caused him to go a lap down. So as soon as the caution comes out, he is the only car a lap down. He will get his lap back as long as he stays the only car a lap down. The way that Brad's putting laps down on this track, the 10 car is only about a straightaway in front of him. So the 50's got to hope for a caution soon, or else there'll be another car a lap down. All right, we're gonna go to the front and ride around with Brad for a couple laps here. I will be right back. All right, sorry about that. We are back 43 laps down. Brad Herman has continued to lead this race. We'll see if anybody can get to him. Kaiser is still riding around between a second and a half to about 2.5. Harrison has fallen off to about 4.5. Holden is right there with Harrison. They're not separated by too much. Let's jump to them and see what kind of battle is going on with those two. It looks like they are close to each other. Holden's trying to get to the 7. 7 has a little damage in that left front and right front. So he may have caught the wall and then maybe caught another car. Holden's got a little damage on that right front tire. You can see the brakes glowing here as they try to get in the brakes to get through these corners and slow down. Herman, if you looked at Herman's car, his is more looking like he's not braking as hard and he's kind of letting off earlier. Well, I guess he is braking real hard at the beginning. But he seems to let off earlier, brake real hard, and then kind of just let it roll through the corner rather than diving it in deeper and holding that brake longer. So he's just letting the car's momentum roll that bottom corner right at the line. As Goddard goes a lap down there, that puts 2 cars a lap down, Newman and Goddard. Newman is needing to get to Goddard to get his or get to be the top lucky dog's spot there. The 10 is looking like he's almost about to go a lap down, so Newman has really got to pick it up to get to these 2 lap cars to get back into the lucky dog spot. As of right now, Goddard is the lucky dog, but that 10 is about to go a lap down, so Carroll would be the next in line to be the next lucky dog if the 85 can get around him before caution does come out. Kaiser and looks like Holden did get around Harrison for 3rd. They are continuing to battle it out. You see those two really trying to pull off the corners. The 7 seems to be getting a little looser. He's staying up higher, trying to carry the momentum and then diamonding off the corner. The 20 is kind of diving in deep as the 71 is, braking and then trying to pull off the corner to catch the car in front of him. But Herman has gotten it down pat, and he put a lot of practice in. He said he was definitely ready for this track. So Not super surprising, as Herman was a late race entry last week and led about 3/4 of the race. And before the race, he said he was very uncomfortable at that track. And this race, he said he was very comfortable. So last week he led 3/4. Maybe he'll lead the entire race this time. We are closing in on the halfway point here, and Herman has led 55 laps tonight, out of 55. Closest contender is Kaiser at 2 seconds behind Herman. Kaiser started 4th on the outside. Technically, he should have started on the front row since Newman was unable to grid, but Newman's, for some reason, decided to go to the front row. I think he thought that throwing the caution as soon as the race was getting ready to start, as they were pacing, that would give him his lap back as the lucky dog, but it did not. He would have probably needed to give himself a wave around to begin with, but I guess they didn't think that far ahead of that one, but kind of a confusing start. Ooh, 71 gets on those rumble strips, and that is not a good move to have. It will damage that left front for sure if you continue to do that. Will catch that left bumper right around the skirt and just rip that front to pieces. But Herman has stretched it out to about a 3.5 to 4.5 second lead now. Holden is closing in on Kaiser, so I don't know if Kaiser maybe has used up his tires. They do have an extra set for tonight. They might have 2 actually for the race. But currently nobody has used any sets, as they have run all green flag laps. I know it does say 1 caution down there at the bottom of the screen, but that was just a caution they threw at the beginning of the race to try to help Newman get on the lead lap, as he was having some issues, I guess, gridding. But yeah, see, SS Motorsports says my pick is Herman unless he gets screwed. I see Mama Bear out there, Christine's Warriors. King Mathers is out there saying get him Herman. Herman has led all 61 laps. Almost half of the race is completed. And so far, nobody has been able to stick with Herman. He has pulled out to a 3.5 to 4.5 second lead, depending on how they go through the corners. Closest contender is Kaiser. Holden is right behind Kaiser. I think most of these guys are probably going to be getting close to doing green flag stops within the next 15 laps, I would think. Their tires are got to be screaming at them 62 laps into the race. They do have 2 sets of extra tires, 1 fast repair for tonight, and I do believe they said they were not doing wave rounds for when they pit, so that could mess up the field a little. Ooh, and a caution does come out. I'm not seeing anybody on track with having an issue. So let's back it up and see if we can figure out where that was. That might have been a manual one. Or wait, that could have been a manual, because I'm not seeing anything on track. But they're continuing to run down there, so I don't know why that caution was thrown. But that's going to restack the field. Herman's going to come in for tires. The 10, the 50, the 7, the 38. Looks like they're all going to stay out and try to get a lap back. 85, 71, and 7 are all in the pits. I believe the 20 is in the pits as well for tires and fuel. This could be the last pit stop they take. unless another caution does come out. These guys have run 61 laps currently, or 64 laps currently, on that first set of tires and fuel that they had from the start of the race. So 61 laps to go in the race. You can do the math. They should be good to go the rest of the race. Unless cautions do come out, then you might see a couple guys come down and grab another set of tires or something like that. But fuel-wise, they should be good to go for the rest of the race. They only have one extra set left in the pits now. 85 has led every lap so far. And we'll see if anybody is able to contend with him on a restart. He hasn't had to really deal with anybody since the start of the race, as he pulled out to about a second within the first 2 laps. So there was some confusion, though, on that first start of the race with Newman being scored a lap down, but he still was on the front row. So that caused a little bit of confusion, and he was able to get right behind Herman, which puts second and third behind him on the scoring sheet, and they had to work their way by him. So he maybe was a little bit of a rolling roadblock there, being a lap down, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know he might have missed grid, which put him in pit road for the start of the race, and then it put him a lap down. They threw a caution. It didn't give him a lucky dog. What they probably should have done is just done a wave around, and that would have brought him back onto the lead lap, starting in the back of the field before they had the green flag dropped. But they are all restacked now. At least the top 4 are. The others are currently in pit road, trying to get the fuel and tires on. 38 is going to be... Okay, he's going to beat out the pace car barely to get that fuel. They have 1 to green. I don't think the 50 beat out the pace car, so that means the 50 is going to be a lap down. See how it turns out here. I think the 50 came down late after the pace car had already passed, so he is on the lead lap. We are going green now. 85 gets a great jump. Tyler Holden is a little bit slow on this one. Brad was real slow on the original start of the race, so good to see he's got that problem fixed. He has the 71 and the 20 right behind him. The 71 is trying to get underneath Tyler Holden currently. Both are only a half second behind. Kaiser slipped coming out of turn 2 and now is under fire from the 7 and the 50. Newman and Harrison both are trying to get to the 71. The 20 is closing in on the 85. First real challenge for the 85 tonight, as nobody has been this close to the 20 unless they are a lap car behind him just after he went past them. So 55 laps to go. They are cruising through this race. 17 minutes left on the clock for the race time. Only 1 official caution tonight, and I don't know what it was for, as I couldn't find anything on track. So it could have been a manual, but I can't see that part of it. So just going to assume there was debris on the track. 20 is trying to... Ooh, another caution. So I see the 7 and the 50 are around on the front stretch. So let's jump around to the 50 and the 7, as those two were battling for 4th and 5th. So it looks like the 50 might have got loose coming off the corner. And he does. You can hear the tire spinning. He locked up the brakes. The 7 had nowhere to go but the side of the 50. And that's going to put both of them... Ooh, the 38 gets into the 7 as they try to come back around. That's going to put some damage on the 38, 7, 50. And I don't know if the 10 might have got a little bit of damage there, as it looked like he scraped the wall as he went around these guys to avoid them. So that's going to put 4 cars maybe needing a fast repair to get going again. Herman is still out front. Holden is 2nd. Kaiser is 3rd. Carroll's 4th. Goddard is 5th. Newman is showing 6th right now, and Harrison is 7th. So we'll see how this works out. They're all lined back up. We'll see if they come into the pits. You can see some damage on those back 4 cars. Front 3 cars are clean, and I'm sure they'd want to stay that way. not seeing anybody coming down pit road and from the front. I see the 50 and the 7 coming into pit road now. Not surprised by that because those two definitely have some damage to be repaired as they first spun off turn 2 together. And the 7 ran right into the 50 as he had nowhere to go as the 50 spun in front of him. I'm surprised the 38 and the 10 are not coming down if the 10 did have damage. I know the 38 for sure has damage on the front. And we can see it right here. Definitely has some damage there where he might need to use that fast repair, but he might be saving it. Looks like the 50's coming out of pit road now. 7's back out of the pit road as well. Both stay on the lead lap, it looks like. So looking at the 10, he definitely has damage on that right side. I don't know if maybe he used the fast repair earlier because he definitely had damage on both sides of the car earlier. And it looks like he does have it on the right side and might have a little bit on the left side. He might have caught the 7 car as he was spinning around. They are restacked double file. This should be, as I come across, for 1 to go. Yep, 1 to green. So we are well over halfway, 49 laps to go. This is the 3rd caution of the night, 16 minutes left on the timer. Brad Herman has led every lap so far. Out of the 125 total, we have 49 to go. We'll see if he can lead the rest of the way. He does have that 20 on his outside, and the 71 starting right behind him. Now remember, the 71 and 85 did have some contact last week, which removed the 85 from possibly winning that race. So see what happens here. As they're going to go green, the 20 jumps to restart. 85 beats the 20 to the line, though, as the 20 lets off. 85 is going to take the lead. 20 is going to try to battle back on the outside with the 71 underneath him. The 50 is currently in 4th, right behind the 71. We see a lot less of the bumper being used this week, so maybe those guys learned a little bit of a lesson. We do have a little bit shortened of a field, so it's possible that that might be what helps with a smaller field, but the guys we saw last week using the bumper, diving it in later than the guys who were letting off, doesn't seem to be happening this week. As we see the 20 and the 85 making a little bit of contact there. It doesn't look like it worked out for the 20, though, as he fell off of the 85. 85 is just hoping to pull away from these guys and let them battle it out and continue to lead this race. The 20, the 50, the 71 are all really close to each other. The 71 and 50 are battling side by side. 50's trying to get underneath that 71 and stay underneath him. The 71 is battling back on the outside with carrying the momentum through the corners. 50 should be able to slide up in front of the 71 now. Now he can set sail for the 20. The 20 is still trying to get to that 85's bumper. He's getting in close as the 50's pushing the 20 through the corner. 85 is able to stretch it coming out of the corner. Like I said, the 85 is a little bit different driving than the other guys so far. Ooh, the 50 and the 20 make contact. 20 is going to go around. 50 is going to go around. 71 is going to have damage. 38 is going to have damage. Well, I said these guys might have learned, and looks like now they're starting to amp up and use those bumpers a little bit. So you can see, where was it? Right here. So 50 tries to come up off the corner, clips the corner just a little bit and gets up into the 20. 20 spins around and catches the 50's bumper as he goes by. Is going to drag him into the corner. I believe the 71, 10, 7, half the field is involved in this one. A few guys have already used their fast repairs, so 50 is one of those guys. I believe the 10 is the other one. 7 could possibly have used his earlier. I don't know if the 20 has used one yet, but it's going to come down to survival of the fittest, and the 85 and the 38 are the top 2 currently being scored. Herman has no damage unless the back bumper has a little bit of damage, as that's the only people that have been able to touch him is someone behind him. I know the 20 was pushing him through the corner a little bit earlier as the 50 was pushing the 20, but 85 is pretty clean. 38 is semi-clean, as I believe he has a little bit of damage on the front. 50 has some damage on the front. 10 has some damage on the front right side. 7 has damage on both sides in the front. 71 should have a clean car now, as I believe he just... Nope, he still has not used his fast repair, so he has some damage. I'm seeing the 20 going into the pits now as he's got damage on both sides in the front. A little bit in the rear as well. Let's see if he uses a fast repair. He's going to have to do something quick here. And he did. So they are restacked up. 71 looks to have still some damage. Yeah, so he still hasn't used his fast repair. 20's used his. 38 is still damaged. 51 is still damaged. 10 is still damaged. 08 is off track. Seven still has damage. So every car on track has damage besides the 20 and the 85. They are 1 to green as they come off a 2 with the pace car leading them on to the backstretch. 38 is going to be on the outside of the 85. 50 is going to be behind the 85, and 10 will be the outside of him as the pace car pulls off as they go into 3 and 4. See if anybody jumps this time. 85 jumps a little bit as he goes through the box. 38, 50 is underneath him. 85 is leading him through turn 1 and 2. 50 gets in front of the 38. 38 struggling a little bit. I think it's that damage on the front of his car. 50 is trying to get to the back bumper of this 85. 7 still battling back there. Kaiser back there with damage. All of the top 5 are damaged except for the leader. Damage doesn't seem to play a part too much with these cars. As 7's getting really loose back there, and I think he went around. Let's see. Caution comes out. Looks like he just got in there hot, tried to get in the gas, and it just came around on him. 38 clipped the little turtle there. 7 got out. Yeah, so he got into the gas a little too hard, spun the tires, and ended up on the inside wall. So as we restack him for the 5th caution, or 4th caution technically, 5th caution overall due to a caution being thrown before the race even started. But 7's back in line. Still only 85 and 71 are, or 85 and 20 are the 2 clean cars as of right now. 71 I don't believe has used his fast repair. 50 has. 38 I can't remember if he used one or not already. 10 did. 20 did. That's why he's clean. 7 I don't know if he did. So let's see if he's on pit road now. See if he goes into the pits and uses that fast repair. And left sides are up. He might only be putting lefts on. Yep, so he must have used that fast repair already. I would have thought he would just use it there because it would have been quicker to just do it, but ooh, he might get a penalty there for being on track. He might get a black flag on that one. You have to blend with the track after that blue line. So it looked like he was up and over the turtles going through the corner. So I'd be surprised if he didn't get a black flag on that one. But we are back to 1 to green with 33 to go. Brad Herman is still currently your leader. He has led every lap on track. 71 and 50 just had some collision there. 50, I don't know if he let off or hit the brakes, but the 71 ran right in the back of him. So that might have caused some damage for both of them. 85 is going to try to pull off a turn 4 and try to get the jump again going through the restart box. And there he goes. Going to get a great jump again. He's going to pull up in front of the 50 car and go into turn 1 and 2 as the 50 is going to try to stay close to him. 38 and 71 are battling for 3rd and 4th. Another caution has come out. It looks like it's the 7 car again. So this time he got loose going into the corner. 10 gets into him, 10 gets into the wall. That brings out the caution. 7's definitely struggling with his tires. He just put lefts on, so I'm surprised unless both sides are cold. I know they had said something about fresh tires, the tires being cold made it slick on the sandy pavement of Myrtle Beach, but I know he just put lefts on. That might have been the problem there, but loose in, loose out. He's had both tonight, so we'll see what happens here with him. 10 is on pit road, most likely to try to fix some of that damage that just happened there with the 7. Actually, on screen, it looked like the 10 didn't actually touch him, but there is some netcode happening on iRacing, as other drivers have noticed, that he looked like he was about 5 feet from the 7 as he was spinning around, but you could hear the hit, and then the 10 go up into the wall. So still counted it for iRacing. Unfortunately, it's netcode. Can't do anything about it. But he's in pit road now. 85 still up front. 29 to go. 9.5 minutes left on the clock. If the 85 leads the next 29 laps, he would have led all 125 for tonight's Myrtle Beach race. I believe that puts him upwards of closer to 200 laps led in 2 races in this series as he goes along. Been here, this is his 2nd race. 1 lap to green as they're going to go into 3 and 4 as pace car comes off. 10 is catching up to the field. 85 is going to stab the gas as he goes through the restart box and get that jump. 50 is going to try to hang with him. 50 is not going to be able to get to the bumper as Brad is going to be able to just diamond it through the corner and carry the momentum off the corner and separate himself. 71 and 38 are real close to touching each other. We'll see if the 38 slides off the corner, which allows the 71 to pull away. 20 is on the outside of the 38. 38 looks like he's having a little bit of trouble staying on the bottom of the track. He's losing a lot of speed doing that. It's allowing the 20 to get up to the outside. 38 is going to dive it in again. 20 is going to try to stay there, but he's going to have to move up the track because the 38 is not able to hold the bottom. That's going to allow the 7 to get closer. 7 with all that damage is still right here in the race for 5th. He's going to give the 38 a little bump as they go through the corners. The 38 got real tight and had to let off the gas. Let's go back to that battle. So it looks like the 20 and 38 and 7 are close to swapping positions. 20 is going to pull away a little bit as the 38 had that trouble coming off the corner, like I said. 10 is just hanging out in the back waiting for this to... oh, 50's loose. Let's go up. Check that. Did the 71 give him the bumper? No, 71 did not. 50 got loose coming off of turn 3. Or turn 2. And spun right in front of the 71. 71 had nowhere to go. Touched him in the corner just a little bit, which helped the 50 spin down to the inside lane. So that would be the 7th caution tonight. Overall, like I said, 6 technically. 1 was thrown at the very beginning of the race before the race even started on the pace lap. Somebody had issues gridding, so they just tried to throw a caution to put him back on the lead lap, but it didn't work. So 85 is back up front. 71 is back in 2nd place. These two have been battling it out. 85 has been the fastest car on track, has led all of the laps so far. That is 102 so far that he has led tonight with 23 to go. $22 to go. It doesn't look like any of the leaders are going to come down pit road for tires or fuel. At this point, they've been on track for 40 laps on the set of tires for Herman, 20 on the set of tires for Holden, 38 for the set of tires for Goddard, 13, 9, and then 30 and 40 for the rest of the field. So Kaiser's back to 7th now. Not sure what happened to Kaiser there. Unless he might have come down pit road. I wasn't paying attention to that. Sorry about that. 20's going to line up on the outside of the 85. These two have been at the front row before. 85's been there all night. 20 has swapped in and out with the 7 and 71 and 50. 85 was able to get the jump on the 20 last time. 20, the time before that, tried to jump the start and had to let off because you cannot beat the lead car to the finish line. Pace car is going to pull off. 85 and 20 are going to go into 3 and 4. We'll see if the 85 can get the jump he's been getting all night on these restarts. As he comes around the corner, the line is right there on the wall, and he goes. 85 gets a good jump. 20 sticks with him this time, though. It's not as bad. 20 is going to hang with him right there on the right fender. 7 is closing in to try to get underneath the 20. 85 is going to be able to pull up in front of the 20. See if the 20 gives him a bumper going into the corner, and he's going to be close. And another caution's out. And might be the 7 as I'm seeing him slow on track. Ooh, not sure what happened there. It looks like the 7 just... it kind of looks like the 7 thought the road went to the right. I'm not really sure what happened there. He just goes right instead of left. He caught the wall just a little bit, and when he did, it's a specific angle in the corner there just before you go into the turn, and it kind of angles in and then angles back out to widen for the corner. If you clip it right there, it kind of turns the car to the right because it catches on the rear. So that's what happened there. race, and then so 85 is now out front by 0.6. As we're watching him go around here, the 20 is closing in on the 85. I was waiting to see there if the 20 was going to get close enough to give him a bumper, but the 85, as he goes into the corner, he lets off early. 20 dives in late. That's how the 20, you can see, closes in, but then the 85 gets a real good drive off. So it's just going to come down to timing. If the 20's there and he can dive it in deep enough, he can give the bumper to the 85. I don't know if he wants to win that way. Like I said, he won the first 2 races of this league's season schedule. 85 led a bunch of laps in the 3rd race, but was dumped from the first position. So we'll see if that tradition continues in his 2nd race, as 2nd place is closing in on him. I'm sure he's just waiting for these laps to be over with, trying to hit every point and every spot he can to be perfect. 7 laps to go as he comes around 3 and 4. Coming to the finish line, this will be 6 to go. He has stretched it out to about 1.5 seconds on the straightaways now. As I assume the 38 coming out of pit road, this could play a factor. Will the 38 let the 85 go, or will he race him? He's a lap down, so this would be for 2 laps. 38 is going to stay high. It's going to allow the 85 to get underneath him. That's a good move by Goddard, staying out of the way. 20 is going up real close to the 38. I think he overshot that corner. He gets loose off the corner. 85 is going to be out front. We're going to go to a rear chase mode to look back at the distance. '85 has stretched his lead out to a 2nd in the corners. 20 is getting really loose back there with the 38. He's trying to get to the 85. I think he's used up his tires. 71 is closing in on the 20 now for 2nd. 4 laps to go as they come around Myrtle Beach Speedway. 85 out front with a comfortable lead now with 3 to go. Two to go now as the 85 comes around the backstretch. He's closing in on another lap car. He goes into 3 and 4. He's keeping it real close to the line, just trying to hit his marks and carry that speed. 20 has stayed in 2nd place. 3rd is in the 71 of Aiden Kaiser. 85, 1 to go as he goes around 1 and 2. Down the backstretch he goes into 3 and 4. Brakes glowing. He's going to come off of 4, get into the gas as easy as he can to keep that momentum and take the win tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. The 85 has led all laps tonight, 125 from the start of the race. He has led every lap tonight. I don't think you can get more dominating than he did tonight. Got the pole, was 1st or 2nd fastest in practice. Started on the pole, like I said, led every lap of the race. We will get him 2nd and 3rd into the booth here to get them interviewed for post-race. So give me just a second here to get them in here. All right, looks like we got top 3 in the booth. We got Kaiser in here, Holden's there in 2nd. Herman, your race winner, is here as well. Kaiser, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Aiden, you started. kind of confused on the start of the race. Looked like you had qualified third or fourth, but then moved up to the second row or first front row, and then it looked like I don't know what happened. A caution was thrown, and then Newman came up to the front row, but then he was a lap down. Um, from the start of the race, Herman was obviously one of the faster cars, was getting the pole. You and him were the fastest in practice. I thought it was going to come down to the two of you battling it out, but Holden was able to get in there in second. Um, Anything you could have done different tonight, or I guess maybe you avoided a couple of these incidents that were happening from other drivers? Um, Other than that, did you have anything else for Herman? I mean, what could you have done?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't really get clean air, and I just couldn't get really good restarts and everything. I kind of just got kind of bad karma from the last race, so it's pretty much all of it. And I just want to thank my sponsors. Well, this car is not mine. It's actually I helped this kid named Kyle Keller in California, and it's actually his scheme. So I need to thank him for letting me run it, and that goes to him. Me and him actually just got a win yesterday, so my body was actually sore, so I really couldn't do a lot because my body was just sore and everything. But need to dedicate to him and also my girlfriend because it's me and her 6-month anniversary today. So
Gotcha. Well, it was a good race to watch here. You guys battled it out. You got a bunch of positions in different ways. Um, were strong all race, qualified well, ran it well in practice. What are you looking towards for next week?
I honestly don't know yet. I'm just gonna try and just do good, be consistent, and just try and do one lap at a time.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do next week. Um, Been one of the faster cars I've been watching for the last 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens here next week when it comes up. But appreciate you jumping in the booth, and congrats on third place.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. Tyler, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right, Tyler, I talked to you before the race. Your goal, you said, was just to kind of hang out and see what happens and try to have a good finish and bring her home clean. You were able to bring her home second tonight. You had some issues with different cars throughout the evening, either their spin or a little bit of contact, things like that. Still brought it home I would say about 90% clean for the car. Brought it home second. Could you do anything to keep up with Herman, as he obviously was the fastest car tonight, leading 125 laps from the start, having the pole? I mean, what could you have done? It looked like you got close a couple times.
My car was just too tight in the long run, and I could have maybe roughed him up, but I don't want to race somebody that bad. I've gotten him once or twice by accident. I felt bad for doing that already.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, some people like to dive it in there and give them a little bump and move them out of the way. It's pretty much the only way you can race people at short track, which also throws a shout out to one of our sponsors for this race, Carolina Short Track Racing. Appreciate them coming out and sponsoring you guys for this race. But short track racing is really hard with only one line down there at the bottom. You got to kind of move somebody off the bottom, but without spinning them, of course. But I mean, good spot for you to be there in second. You won the first two races of the race or the season. Last week was a little bit of a struggle all around for most drivers. You bring it home second tonight. What are you looking forward to for next week?
Just another, hopefully, a top three. Consistency is the big thing for championships and stuff.
Gotcha. Well, you should be the points leader, I believe, with 2 wins, and then last week's race, and then second this week. So I'll have to take a look at those points, but pretty sure you should definitely be in the top 2. So congrats on second place tonight, and look forward to see what you can do next week. Brad, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, buddy. We talked before the race. You said you were very confident this week with this track, and I'm assuming you put a bunch of practice in, knowing last week you said you were going to try to put some practice in as you hadn't really raced these cars. Last week you said you weren't very confident going into that race, and you led. I kept saying 85 because that was your number, 85% of the race, and then obviously had some incidents with a specific driver that cost you the win. But this week you took it in your own hands and were pretty much one of the top 2 fastest in practice, got the pole, and then led all 125 laps from the start of the race. Only really had some competition towards the end of the race with the 20 getting close enough to you after a couple of strings of cautions there. But other than that, you pretty much led anywhere from 1 to 4 seconds out on second place. So I don't think you could have been any more dominant. I think the confidence definitely spewed into the race. But pre-race, you said you were very confident. So how'd you do it?
I just knew I had a really consistent car, and I knew if I could get the pole or at least close up there, I'd be able to keep it up front. Kind of got stuckered there. I thought more people would take 2 tires. Everybody ended up taking 4, so didn't really know how that would work out. So people were able to stick with me for a little bit there, and yeah, I definitely thought those cautions were going to keep coming out. I don't know if I was going to win it, but was able to pull away and not get bump and run and just have a clean race.
Well, you definitely ran a clean race, as nobody was really around you except for the last about 20 laps there. But great win, first win of the year for this series here. Anything looking towards next week?
Just some more of the same consistency. I'm really on a roll with these cars right now. I'm really enjoying running them, so hopefully we can keep it going.
All right. Well, congratulations on first place, and we'll see what happens next week. I believe you're going to be running into the next race that I'll be streaming here in about 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll see you at Turn Down for What Trucks at Daytona, and see if you can bring it home again in the top 3 or take the victory there and run 2 races back to back and win both of them. So good luck tonight, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you at some point here in the next hour.
Thanks, man.
Yep. All right, everybody. That ends the Outlaw Super Series for iRacing limited iRacing series, brought to you by Carolina Short Track Racing. We will end this stream, and I will start the next one up here in just a few minutes for Turn Down for What, as I'll have to relabel the stream. But appreciate you guys being out there in the chat and being out there viewing. Please try to just re-up the view as soon as I go back live for the Turn Down for What series. And we'll see what happens there. It's Daytona. It's fast. We'll see what happens. Who's going to bring it home? We got 25 in the field tonight. Trucks are pretty squirrely with the air packages and stuff, and the different ways to be able to drive in the 3 different grooves there. So we'll see what happens.